So Claude Fable was just suspended apparently by the US government. So if you look right here, this is pretty nuts, by the way. This literally just happened in the last few minutes. So if you look right here, it says, make me a trillionaire, make no mistakes. I'm gonna press enter. I have Claude Fable suggested, and you can see that pops up, and it's like, it's not letting me do it. And it won't even tell me why. I'll do it again. It's like, oh, pops up. Oh, this model isn't available right now. It won't even tell me why. But then when you go here and you select 4.8, somehow it comes up. You click learn more, and this article is going to pop up. Statement on the U.S. government directive to suspend access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5. So the U.S. government, citing national security authorities, has issued an export control directive to suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 by any foreign national, whether inside or outside of the United States, including foreign national Anthropic employees. The net effect of this order is that we must abruptly disable Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for all of our customers to ensure compliance. Access to all Anthropic models will not be affected. And we received the directive from the government today at 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time. The letter did not provide specific details of its national security concern. Our understanding is that the government believes that it has become aware of a method of bypassing or jailbreaking Fable 5. We reviewed a demonstration of this specific technique being used to identify a small number of previously known minor vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities all appear relatively simple, and we have found that other publicly available models are able to discover them as well without requiring a bypass. Anthropic's posture with respect to Fable's safeguards as laid out in our launch blog post is the following. We have instituted strong safeguards, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I mean, there's other information they put on here. We'll go over it here in a moment, but basically, there's a few things with this one. So, it could be 100% true. And it also could be partially true, where they're being partially transparent with people, but it's also kind of marketing. And then it could just be kind of like a marketing stunt. Now, why is this? Well, it's because Anthropic is about to go public, right? So they are trying to go public. They want the stock price to be as high as possible. They want a very, very good public launch, not only for the company, but also for the employees. A lot of the employees have stock options. They have equity in the company. And when they go public, a lot of them probably are going to liquidate that and make a bunch of money, right? So this is what's really happening here. A lot of this Mythos stuff, in my opinion, right? So this is just my opinion. I think what's really happening here is a lot of this Mythos stuff and Fable 5 stuff. I think it's partially marketing. Of course, the best marketing has some truth to it. It always has to have some truth to it. So there's definitely some truth to this, but they are, without a doubt, using a lot of this publicity for marketing reasons, which is smart. It's a smart thing to do. Everyone's talking about Mythos 5. Everyone's talking about Fable 5. I'm sure this is going to cause a lot of people to pick up the story as well. Additionally, if you just look back at the last time that Claude sort of interacted with the government, they were able to essentially get a lot of press and coverage from that because they made ChatGPT look like the bad guy, and Claude and/or Anthropic looked like the good guy, right? And the government kind of looked like the bad guy as well, right? So they were able to get a massive amount of press. With that being said, it is without a doubt factual that they benefited from that entire situation tremendously. They got a lot of attention from it, and they benefited from it tremendously, right? So I think that, in my opinion, this is a little bit of them trying to, there's obviously some truth to this. Obviously, the US government is probably doing this. I would be willing to bet that they probably reinstate it within the next couple days. But without a doubt, this is almost certainly a very, very intelligent marketing stunt. And that's one thing that I've kind of seen over and over again from Claude is they are just significantly better at marketing. They're just running circles around ChatGPT when it comes to marketing. I think the average consumer, for instance, doesn't even know that Codex and ChatGPT are the same thing, right? The average consumer has no idea. They think, oh, Codex, oh, that's a different company, right? When in reality, ChatGPT is like that is Codex, right? Like they own Codex, they came out with Codex. But the average person definitely knows that Claude and Claude Code are related, right? It's just stuff as simple as that. They're just so much better at marketing than ChatGPT, and they've just been absolutely crushing it. So in my opinion, that's what's happening here. Now, obviously, there's something to, like, there's definitely some truth in all of this as well, obviously. But in my opinion, that is what is happening. I believe that Claude is using this as a bit of a marketing stunt. So there's truth to it, but they're using it as a marketing stunt. Fable is not available right now. That's too bad. I've been spending like the last few days just like using it all the time, and it is great. Fable is really good. It has up-leveled content creation. It does take a lot of tokens. It is quite slow, but it is without a doubt a very, very good tool, and it is an upgrade when it comes to content creation over Opus 4.8 Max, right? Don't know how long this is going to last. Maybe it just lasts a few hours. Maybe it lasts a few days. Maybe it lasts a few weeks. Who knows? Potentially, this is the government striking back at Claude for kind of throwing them under the bus and making them look bad in that kind of little drama that they had earlier. That is, you could say that might be something that happened there. But yeah, so basically that's kind of what they are implying here. They're implying that they disagree with the government's ruling on it. And they're saying that other models, for instance, are, just as likely to have the same vulnerabilities. And there's only verbal evidence that the government has given them. They haven't given them any direct examples or any direct evidence or anything like that. And yeah, they're complying with the government's legal directive, and they're removing access to Fable 5 and Mythos for all users. However, we disagree that the finding of the narrow potential jailbreak could cause for recalling a commercial model deployed to hundreds of millions of people. If this standard was applied across the industry, we would believe it would essentially halt all new model deployments for all frontier model providers. As we have stated publicly, we believe the government should have the ability to block unsafe deployment as part of the statutory process that is transparent, fair, clear, and grounded in technical facts. This action does not adhere to those principles, right? So yeah, that is interesting development here, and we'll see what's happening. This live training will be on how to use Claude to create content, specifically grow your personal brand on YouTube. You can also use it to literally do the business itself. So if you're launching like a service business, for instance, or you already do a service business, you can use Claude to carry out a lot of the tasks that you would need to do in the service business as well. We're going to talk about how to do that in the live training. So click that link in the description in the pinned comment below, and